Welcome back, Kings and Ducks fan, to Royally Quacked, the Prospects edition. So, how's it going, Cody?
I'm doing good. I get a nice 3-day weekend this weekend.
You do?
Yeah, we're gonna go see a comedy show tomorrow night, and it's of course this. Don't ask me why. The show starts at 8 o'clock on a Sunday, but it's someone that I've. He's not really known as a comedian, but he does play on a lot of comedy shows and movies. We're gonna go see Patrick Warburton tomorrow night in San Diego.
Gronk?
Kronk, yeah. Kronk, not Gronk.
Kronk. Yeah. Okay.
Or Joe Swanson from Family Guy, if people remember him from that.
Yeah, he's got a very distinct voice.
Yes, he does, and
I would think of him as a comedian myself, honestly.
I don't know. I just didn't know if he was like he's not known as a stand-up comedian. How about that?
I can see that.
But you could tell like he is funny on all his movies and shows. He does very good. He's one of my favorite actors. So I saw that he had a comedy show in San Diego. So we're going with some friends tomorrow night. And so I didn't want to, if the show starts at 8 p.m. and I don't want to, and I have to drive home and I start work at 6 a.m. That's just not a good combination.
Yeah, I know my week was crazy. I think I had 3 straight days of 10.5-hour days.
Woo.
Yeah, so it's nice to be back on the podcast talking about the sport we love.
Yeah.
So today we're going to probably start off just giving you like we always do, Ducks news, Kings news, and league news, recap the playoffs, and then we'll go semi-quickly through the prospects for each team, because when we get there, I'm gonna try to think about maybe there might be one that might stick for 9 games, and I think you guys might have one that stick for 9 games. So
I have a feeling there might be one that's going to stick for 82 games.
Well, we'll go over that with you have to wait and listen to the rest of the podcast to get that. So
yes,
there's the teaser for today. So do you want to start off with Duck news, Cody?
Yeah, sure. So good news is Nikita Nesterenko has re-signed with the Anaheim Ducks on a 2-year deal. It is a one-way contract, and the AAV is $787,500. 500,000. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not good with numbers like that.
No, it's 787,500.
Yeah, thank you. I'm bad with numbers like that.
Okay, so maybe we should
hire me to be your accountant.
I know that you want to have a podcast because I butcher hockey names, but man, maybe we'll try to get you to say the AAVs or the annual things, and I don't know, maybe that's a weirder thing to be screwing up.
Yeah. Let's just say I'm glad I'm not an accountant. So, and then next up is the Ducks prospect forward Alexander Blaze has announced his commitment to the University of Connecticut in the NCAA for the 2025-2026 season. So he's going from one of the since they just changed that rule where you can go from the CHL, the Canadian Hockey Junior League, over to the NCAA now. So a lot of players have been doing that. So, and he joined it. So now we'll see what happens.
Well, one thing about that, I think it's a better thing for the kids because you don't get stuck in juniors. I mean, because right now, if you really think about it, we both have a player who has dominated in the juniors.
Yeah.
So, but to keep playing there, how much better can you get? You want to play against stiffer competition. So being able to go to college helps because you're going to be playing against men, not boys still. So just my opinion.
And that also, some players like to do the whole instead of playing like 60, 70 games, they're going to play 40 games, but they also get more time in the weight room and everything so they can build muscle. And they're also playing against older players because in the CHL, you're going to play guys that are, I think the highest age is, 19, 20 in the CHL, but here you're going to play against guys that are like 22, 23 years old as well. So that's another reason.
True.
So, and then next up on the notes is per David Pagnota, the Anaheim Ducks are reportedly open to retaining salary in a trade revolving John Gibson. And I'll actually have a mock trade at the towards the end of the Ducks news with including that.
Okay.
Next up is Andy Strickland came out and said, I want to say it was Wednesday, that the Ducks are open to trading Troy Terry. And then about an hour later, he reports, sorry, no, the Ducks are not trading Troy Terry per the Anaheim's PR staff. And his source was other teams told him that the Ducks are trading Troy Terry. So he didn't even get a good source on that. He heard from other teams. I mean, I could have, if I was one of the other teams, I'm like, the Blackhawks are trading Connor Bedard. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's how rumors start.
Yeah, I know. That's if you're gonna come out and say something like that, make sure you have good sources. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm not saying Andy Strickland, he does have good sources most of the time, and I would say this was one of the main mess ups I would say he's had. But yeah. And the next up, Pat Verbeek, he did a little podcast called the 100% Podcast. I wouldn't say that's a small podcast. I'm sorry, we're a small podcast, but they are not because they got Pat Verbeek on there. And this is what he said on the podcast. Pat Verbeek confirms that 100% on the 100% Hockey Pod that Chris Kreider will play with either Carlson or Mason McTavish. So that'd be good. I think it'd be better for him to play with Carlson, I believe.
I was thinking the same thing, Cody, and that wasn't something we talked about. So,
nope. Yeah, and then he also said Lukas Dostal contract talks. He said we've exchanged offers. Dostal's agent has gone on vacation, so now we'll wait a little bit till he gets back, and we'll pick up discussions and go from there. So, hey, they've already had discussions. The guy's just on vacation. There's nothing to worry about with Dostal or even McTavish right now, because I'm going to get to that one right now. Is Pat Verbeek said on talking to Mason McTavish's agent, I have not spoke to Pat Morrison yet, who's McTavish's agent. Verbeek says he just barely had introductory calls about talking contracts. So it's like I said, the offseason is not even, it's about to be here in about a week and a half, but there's still nothing to worry about with Dostal and McTavish contract wise. I think it's going to be different from the Drysdale and Zegras contracts like everyone's worried about. And then we got some preseason scheduling news. The Anaheim Ducks in the 2025-2026 preseason schedule kicks off on Sunday, September 21st, with a matinee matchup against the LA Kings at the Toyota Arena in Ontario. Then they'll return home the next day, Monday, September 22nd, to host the Utah Mammoth for the first time with the name Mammoth. That'll be at the Honda Center. And then the Ducks will face the Kings again on Wednesday, September 24th in Anaheim, before meeting them once more on Saturday, September 27th, for a neutral site game in Bakersfield at the Dignity Health Arena.
That's Dignity.
Dignity. See, I can't even speak basic English, everyone.
Well, I actually go to Dignity Hospital. Dignity Hospitals with my job.
So listen here, guys. This is the first podcast where you're going to have one host that can't speak basic English and one that can't say hockey names and host a hockey podcast.
Yeah, we each have our we each have our issues, don't we?
Yes.
But we're
So,
having fun.
yes, we are having fun. And then wrapping up the month, they host the San Jose Sharks on Monday, September 29th. And then October opens with a visit to the SAP Center on Wednesday, October 1st. And then for the back half of a home and home against San Jose, the Ducks close out the preseason on Saturday, October 4th, one day before my birthday, taking the Kings one final time at the Crypto.com Arena in LA. So
I think this might be the most preseason games they've ever played against each other.
yeah, because normally it's like about one, maybe two.
Yeah, was it like 4 or 5?
Let me pull up the actual. Let's see. I have it somewhere. Or did I delete it? Maybe I deleted it.
Don't worry.
Yeah. But
Everybody can look it up on their own.
yes,
If they're true hockey fans, they know where to find to get the schedules and stuff. So
yeah. And then here's that mock trade I was telling you guys. I personally wouldn't do it. I if I did, I would switch up something. But so the trade is Anaheim gets Evan Bouchard and Victor Arvidsson from Edmonton, and Edmonton would get Gibson at 50% retained, so that's 3.2 million, around that, and then Mason McTavish, and then the first round pick from this year that's going to happen next Friday, and that was the 10th overall pick. Now, Dad, would you make this trade if you were the Ducks?
no,
Yeah,
that's too much.
That I believe that is way too much. Why would we? I think the only thing I would change is instead of McTavish, make it a defenseman. Because if we're gonna bring in Bouchard, we already got pretty much a full slate of defensemen.
You don't have anybody that's a Bouchard.
Yes, but if, like I said, I wouldn't. That's why I wouldn't make this trade. Because why would I trade? Because we're adding Bouchard to already a stacked lineup of, or not. I wouldn't say stacked, but like our depth chart is pretty full already on the defense.
Yeah, and I wouldn't trade McTavish in that. I just think and the first round pick is too much.
Yeah, I would.
You're already giving them a goalie to help them and retaining half of his salary, but to give him that and the 10th overall pick, no, thank you. I would not do that.
Now, maybe if it was Bouchard, Arvidsson, and then Gibson, and then Zellweger, maybe. Because Bouchard, is Zellweger going to be a Bouchard? Because I believe Bouchard is a left-handed shot. So we need a left-handed shot to come out of the lineup.
Yeah, and he's
it's not going to be Lacombe. It's not going to be Lacombe.
He's a really good offensive defenseman. So
yeah.
But as that stands, I would not make that trade.
Yeah, I would not make that either. So that's why I said that before we even started, because I saw that. I'm like, nope. So, all right, we can go on to Kings news now.
Okay, well, let's start off. The Kings have signed goalie Phoenix Copley to a 1-year contract extension worth $775,000 AAV. Well, it would be AAV, but I mean it's only one, so
yeah.
And according to the Hockey News, the Kings are talking to the Penguins about a trade for either Brian Rust or Ricard Raquel, who both, I think, were behind Crosby, the next two leading scorers on the team. So we could bring Raquel back to California. I think I might rather have Brian Rust myself, and I don't know what's going back on the other end on that one. And this is per Russell Morgan. I think Hockey Royalty podcast? Sure. Pending UFA Tanner Jeannot will not return to Los Angeles next season and will hit the open market on July 1st. Oh, I wouldn't cry over that. I mean, I thought Malott did a decent job taking his spot, so maybe they'll just, or pick up somebody else. But I mean, he was definitely one of the leading hitters in the league. So, and I think that's a necessary aspect of the Kings were missing the year before, and he definitely helped them be with a better record. So, I mean, I'm not against them signing him, but
Yeah.
it just depends. Maybe he wants too much money for that position, and they're not willing to pay it. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out here in the near future because July 1st is coming up quick. The LA Kings open the 2025-26 preseason on Sunday, the 21st, facing the Anaheim Ducks at the Toyota Arena in Ontario. Then they hit the road for a clash with the Vegas Golden Knights on Tuesday, September 23 at T-Mobile Arena. And as you've already heard from Cody, then they'll travel to Anaheim for a rematch with the Ducks on Wednesday, September 24th, before hosting them again on Saturday, the 27th at the Dignity Health Arena in Bakersfield. Their preseason tour continues as they take on the Utah Mammoth twice. First on Tuesday, September 30th in Boise, Idaho at the Central Arena, and then Thursday, October 2nd at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. They wrap things up coming back on Saturday, October 4th, your Aunt Judy's birthday, welcoming the Ducks to Crypto.com Arena for the matinee final.
So yeah, we play each other 4 times this preseason.
You counted it this time?
Well, I found the.
Oh, you found the.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to start on the league news? Or you want me to?
I'll start.
Okay.
So we're gonna do signings and extensions for the first part of the league news. So the first one is the Blackhawks have signed Ryan Donato on a 4-year contract extension worth $4 million AAV. So I would say that's a good thing that he stayed there. He seemed like he had a really good season there. So it's a good thing they locked him up for 4 years.
Yeah, and they're building back up is what they're doing.
Yep.
And I think he's a veteran presence that the younger team needs, especially on he's definitely been around for a while. So and I think he likes it there. The Ottawa Senators have signed forward Fabian Zetterlund to a 3-year contract extension worth $4.275 million AAV.
And then I was surprised the Sharks traded Zetterlund.
Yeah,
I was shocked about that.
I think we all were because he was an up and comer.
Yeah. And then next up, the Stars have signed forward Matt Duchene to a 4-year contract extension worth $4.5 million AAV. So
did he not lead the team in scoring, right?
Yes, because you asked me this question.
I know. Here's my question: is that a hometown discount?
Well, remember he's also still making $4.5 million from Nashville.
For how much longer?
Well,
they bought him out.
The Predators bought him out.
Okay. So he's making $9 million a year or something like that. Okay.
Yeah. So he's still making.
So he is giving him a discount because he's getting paid the other money. So. And Eric, great news. The Rangers have signed forward Matt Rempe to a 2-year contract extension worth $975,000 AAV. So you get your boy back, Eric.
Yep. So Matt Duchene's buyout in Nashville, this next year he's going to make $6.5 million. Then it goes to $1.5 million the next 3 seasons after that.
Oh, so he's making over $10 million this next year.
Yeah, and then Frankie, my boys, I hope I make you guys happy. Yeah, I felt great after the Angels almost swept the Yankees this last week. Man, I would have laughed so hard.
Sorry, Frankie. I know you love your boys, and it, well, thank you for telling them to keep us happy. We
Yeah.
appreciate you, Frankie. You're awesome.
All right. Let's see. And then next up on the league news is Jonathan Taves is coming back officially, and he already announced who he was signing with. So it is actually official that Jonathan. It's not. Well, it is. He can make a verbal agreement, but he can't officially sign. So, but
Not
the
till
Jets.
July 1st.
Yeah, not till July 1st. Yeah. But Winnipeg announced it. Elliot Friedman announced it. So that's how you know it's going to be official. But Jonathan Taves is going home to the Winnipeg Jets on a 1-year deal worth 2 million AAV, but he has $5 million in bonuses if he hits these bonuses. You want to hear these bonuses?
Sure.
Okay. So this is just the regular season bonuses. He can make $550,000 after 20 games. Another $550,000 after 30 games played. After 40 games, another $550,000. After 50, the same number, and after 60, the same number. Okay.
So if he hits these things, it's like he's getting paid an extra $55,000 a game.
After every 10 games.
No, that's 550,000. You said so. It is 55,000 a game for every game after 20 up to 60.
If he gets to that mark, yes. And
Well,
then
that whole thing blows. I think Kyle wanted Taves and Kane to come, didn't he? Didn't he want to come to the Ducks? And you guys could have been the Anaheim,
the Chicago Blackhawks of Anaheim. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say that, but I guess that'll work.
So, but there's also more bonuses. So if they make the playoffs, if the Jets are in the playoffs and Taves plays 50 games, 500,000. If the Jets win the first round and he plays 50% of the games, 250,000. If the Jets win the second round and Taves plays half of the second round, another 250,000. If Jets win the third round, Taves plays 50% of round 3, another 250,000. And if the Jets win the Stanley Cup and Taves plays 50% of the Stanley Cup final, he gets $1 million.
So was he going to make like $12 million if he gets all the bonuses?
$7 million overall for the 1 year.
God, it sounds like more, definitely sounded like more than that.
This is what it says on.
I believe you. I believe you.
But the thing is, so say if the Jets win the Stanley Cup and he hits all these, that $5 million goes to the cap hit of next year for the Jets. So
yeah, well, one thing with bonuses, they can put them onto the next year's cap.
Mom's clapping at Frankie.
Mom and Frankie, I don't know if you remember, they used to have that claymation fight between, like famous people.
Are you talking about the celebrity death match?
Yeah, mom and Frankie.
Yeah.
Frankie, look out! I think she kicked your butt. Believe me, I've lived with her for 43 years. And both my boys are more afraid of her than me. Yeah. Right, Cody?
Yep.
I know Tim will definitely say yes. Oh, it's my turn, huh?
Yep, your turn.
Stars have signed restricted free agent defenseman Niles Lundqvist. Lundqvist? Yeah, Squist.
Lundqvist.
To a 1-year contract, $1.25 million contract extension.
Yeah. And the Stars have also signed RFA forward Maverick Borg to a 1-year, $950K contract extension, preventing him from getting offer sheeted. I think that was
Yeah.
the main reason why they did those.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more offer sheets now.
Yeah.
So, and we both probably have some players. I know Alex Laferriere might get one from somebody.
There, a lot of people were saying McTavish and Dostal from the Ducks.
And why not?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely players you would want on your team for sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to trades on the league news now. The Predators have acquired Eric Holla from the Devils in exchange for Jeremy Hansel and a 2025 fourth-round pick.
Yeah. It's a move. I don't know much about the move, but it's a move.
Well, Hall has been in the past a pretty good player. I do not remember how good a season he had this last season, but
I don't know either.
I mean, I know I had picked him up on my fantasy teams, and I've done pretty well in fantasy.
Let's see. What did he do this last year? This last year in 69 games played, he had 11 goals, 10 assists for 21 points.
So maybe he's on the downslide of his career.
He has 34. So
yeah.
And then next up, the Stars have dealt Mason Marchment to the Kraken in exchange for a 2026 third-round pick and a 2025 fourth-round pick. So that was the Stars definitely getting rid of some cap space. You know, opening it up so they can at least sign someone. And I think that was also part of the Matt Duchene signing.
Oh, to clear up space.
To clear up space.
Yeah, because they're definitely right at the cap most every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Blackhawks have acquired Andre Burakovsky from the Kraken in exchange for Joe Velino.
Yep.
I know. I don't know anything about Joe Velino. I
remember hearing his name somewhere. I believe he was in a trade deadline trade. I want to say it was between Chicago and Detroit. I think that was the one that sent the goalie guy, Peter Mazurek.
Oh, okay.
Back to New York. So, but I think Andre Burakovsky is a great player. You know, he was with the Avalanche when they won the Stanley
I
Cup.
remember him. I don't remember the other guy, but that doesn't mean he's not a player, because I mean there's a lot of players in the National Hockey League. So
yeah,
I'm not like have everybody's stats in my head.
Yeah, me either. So, but now we're gonna move on to the other news within the league. The Edmonton Oilers are under investigation for potential misuse of the LTR cap relief in regards to forward Evander Kane.
Really?
Yeah, because they're saying he could have came back sooner, but he didn't, because if they would have brought him back, they would have been over the cap.
Well, you know, there was a lot of talk about that even before the playoffs started. Long before the season even ended, that he wanted to come back, but they didn't want him to come back. And I'm sure that's probably why there's an investigation.
Yeah.
So in other news, Nick Bonino, ex-Anaheim Duck, I believe, has announced his retirement after 15 seasons. And I always liked the way Nick played.
I did too.
I mean, he was always hustling and playing hard. I mean, he wasn't the big scorer or anything else, but you always would get a quality game from him. So,
yeah,
congratulations on your retirement, Nick.
Well, he's not going to be fully retired, because the Penguins have named Todd Nelson, Nick Bonino, and Rich Clune as their assistant coaches.
Well, he's still retiring from playing.
But he's not leaving the hockey game. Which,
that's good.
Being back in Pittsburgh is great for him. And Todd Nelson is a great coach pickup for Pittsburgh. He was the Hershey Bears coach that led him to exactly.
Yeah, one of the best
AHL coaches in the last few
Yeah,
years.
most definitely.
And then they get Rich Clune. No, crickets.
Ex-Duck.
Speaking of, I'm gonna steal the next one because it's just I'm gonna transition. Just wait. Speaking of old coaches from the Ducks, Greg Cronin has been appointed as the head coach of the Iowa Wild in the American Hockey League. I would say I miss you, but I don't.
I hear crickets.
I know. Wait, I hear clapping. Oh, Angels fans are rejoicing that Rich Clune and Greg Cronin are gone.
Angel fans?
Did I say Angel fans?
You did.
Oh, sorry. Ducks fans were rejoicing. Oh, sorry.
Good thing you never learned a second language because you can't remember English.
See.
Predators GM Barry Trotz. Roman Josi was diagnosed with POTS. Postural, oh my God, tachycardia syndrome toward the end of the 2024-25 season. He has been undergoing treatment since that diagnosis and is progressing exceptionally well. We concur with Roman that with continued management and treatment, he can return to the ice for the 25-26 season and continue with his elite hockey career. We look forward to seeing Roman at the start of training camp this fall. Kind of explains why I think he had a drop off this year, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And you know what? Great player.
Yeah.
One of the top defensemen in hockey.
You know, he is for sure a top defender in hockey.
Yeah. So I wish him well.
Yep. And then the last bit of league news is TJ Brody is on waivers for the purpose of a buyout. His buyout in the first year will be $3.233 million the first year, and then next year it'll be $258,000 for the second year. Yeah,
$333, Cody.
People are really going to get mad at me that I don't say $333?
But it's the fact. Okay, I guess we're going to go to Olympic rosters.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I get lucky. I get to start off with USA.
Nope. So in Team USA, no, go ahead.
I can't mute you. That's not fair.
But I can mute you.
I know. So USA's this is rosters so far.
The preliminary rosters.
Yes. Quinn Hughes, Matthew Tkachuk, Jack Eichel, Brady Tkachuk, Austin Matthews, and was it Charlie McAvoy?
Charlie McAvoy.
I was trying to remember his name, and I drew a blank for a second. So I mean, there you got a line.
Yeah.
A line plus one.
And then for Team Canada, they got Sidney Crosby, Braden Point, Nathan McKinnon, some guy named Connor McDavid, Cale Makar, and then Sam Reinhart. Wow, what a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah. So
first two teams is just a bunch of nobodies. These guys are not good. Team USA and Canada are going to do horrible in the Olympics.
So you take a look at that. Out of that start, which team do you think's better?
For Olympic hockey, Canada.
Yeah.
For Olympic hockey, Canada.
I don't even think it's a doubt. It doesn't mean anything because you still have to play the game. But I mean, McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby right there. That's scary.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
Tkachuk's a great player. Eichel's a great player. So Brady had, I think, his best season ever. Austin Matthews had a little bit of a down season, I thought.
Yeah.
But I would almost take all of those guys before I would take anybody on the USA roster. I mean, Makar, Although they have more forwards. We had 2 defensemen, right? Quinn Hughes and McCarr. I would still think I would take McCarr.
Yeah, Makar over both. Yeah,
And then I mean, but you have McKinnon and McDavid.
yeah. And then you want to do Team Sweden?
I will do Team Sweden. You have Adrian Kempe, Dahlin. I can't remember his first name.
Rasmus
Dahlin. William Nylander, Raymond. Isn't that Gabriel Landeskog?
Yep, Gabriel Landeskog made the rosters after.
It's Lucas Raymond. So
Yeah,
these
Lucas
are all
Raymond.
last. I was
These are all
doing that.
last names. Yes.
Yeah, and then Victor Hedman. That's a hell of a lineup. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see some really great hockey in the Olympics, guys. And this is just a start. You got Finland, Cody.
Yep. And then Team Finland, they got Mikko Rantanen. I believe it's Anton Lindell, UC Saros, Sebastian Aho, Sasha Barkov, and then Miro Hiskinen.
That's not Alexander Barkov?
Well, he goes by Sasha. Alexander Barkov. Yeah, same player, just different name.
Okay.
So he goes by Sasha Barkov too.
Okay. All right. I get Switzerland, I guess.
Yep.
So we got Niederreiter, Hirscher, Fiala, Meyer, Yossi, and Siegenthaler. Siegenthaler. Is he the goalie or something?
No, he's a defenseman.
Okay.
I believe he plays for New Jersey.
Perfect. You get Germany.
I get Das Germany. We get Miko Sturm, Leon Draisaitl, Tim Stützle, Philip Grubauer, Moritz Seider, and Lucas Reichel.
You want to take Czechia because I know your boys in there. Two of your boys are in there.
Yeah, 2 of my boys are in there.
Yeah,
I could do that. Plus, I kind of want you to say one of the names from the Slovakia one, anyways. For Team Czechia, you got David Pastrnak, Martin Necas, the captain himself, Radko Gudas, Andre Palat, Pavel Zacha, and then Dostwal himself, Lukáš Dostwal, will be in the net for Czechia.
So now we're going to Slovakia, and we have Slavkovsky. Is that the one you wanted?
No.
Cernak. It's Nemec, right?
Nemec. Yeah, same thing.
Okay, here's the one.
Yep, there it is.
Here we go.
Yeah, get your headphones ready to see better.
Well, no, they were falling off.
Oh. Feravari.
Pospisil and Tatar.
And then for Denmark, you got Ronenberg, Eller, Frederick Anderson. Why am I blanking on his first name? Ehlers, Bjorkstrand.
Isn't it Nikolai?
Yeah, Nikolai. Thank you.
Yeah, he's been thought of maybe because the Kings might go after him.
He's been rumored at a lot of places. So,
well, he would be a good pickup for any team.
Yeah,
but I think he wants to be in Winnipeg.
And then Jansen Ababo.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Cody struggles. Yay! Everybody right. Cheer.
Good luck with the Latvia names.
Merzlinkins, Silvos,
Shilovs.
Well, if that's going to be like that, no, I don't know anybody's going to really get that all the time.
We talked about him last year in the playoffs with
Valinskis. Abols or Abels, Bluger, Gergensons.
Yep. And then for Team France, we have Belmar, Perret, Texier, Basque, Gallet, I don't know, and then Avitu.
And then Italy is Costner, Mentenutu. Ooh.
Yeah.
Berdeller, Zanata. It's not Berdeller. I don't speak French.
That's
Larkin.
Italian, Dad. That's Italian.
Oh, I don't. Oh gosh. Sometimes life is so much fun.
Yeah.
I already said Larkin and then Clara.
Yep. So was it you have what three players?
We had
Kempe, Fiala.
I think only two. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Ducks had three. We had Gudis, Dostal, and then the Italy goalie Clara.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, if any of those guys would be in the, they wouldn't be in our prospect pool for goalies or anything else. I don't remember any of those names.
Yeah. And then we on to the last part of this year for playoff recap.
Yes.
And the Florida Panthers have won back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, defeating the Oilers in 6 games. And I can tell you, my buddies are very happy because they bet on the Panthers to win and then the Pacers to win the NBA championship on a huge parlay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet against Oklahoma City on that one.
Yeah, they're going to Game 7, so it's a good series. So
okay.
But what would you think of the Stanley Cup playoffs this year overall? And did you believe that Bennett deserved the Conn Smythe?
I did. He's going to stay. He's going
to
to stay in Florida too. He already said so.
Well, so did Marchand and I believe.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of good free agents off the market for other teams.
Yeah,
I don't know. The Kings were looking at Marchand and Bennett. I know. So
yeah. So but no, I'm okay with. I thought Bennett deserved the Conn Smythe. I think the playoffs overall was really good this year. You know, we had a lot of great games. No sweeps this year. I can't remember the last time there was no sweeps in a postseason.
yeah,
and that, you know, I mean, if you would have told us, I gotta look. Maybe I'll look up the stats another time. But I mean, McDavid just did not look like himself these playoffs as much as he has in years past. You good there?
Yeah, I'm getting my other information ready to go because I know what we're going to next.
So, but yeah, but overall, it was a great postseason. Congratulations to Florida. I mean, I could tell you their after party and everything looks a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure I would get tired after 20 minutes and want to go home.
Yeah. Well, also Florida damaged the Stanley Cup.
That happens every year. Every team damages it.
I don't remember him damaging it last year.
Yeah, that we know of.
True.
But I will admit, I did like what they did this year with Florida, that they gave all the people that have never won the Stanley Cup first dibs at lifting the Stanley Cup after they won. So Barkov, you know, the captain, of course, gets it first. He gave it to Nate Schmidt because he never won it. Then Seth Jones got it because he never won it. And then it was all the players that were like never even suited up the whole playoffs. Even they lifted the cup before, you know, Kachuk or, you know, Reinhardt. They let all those people lift the cup first. And I thought that was great.
I saw an interview with Marchand, and he was talking that it's a real brotherhood there. And it's where I think one reason they're so good is they care about each other. It's not about themselves. They care about each other. And that's why I bet you both of those guys who are expected to be probably get more money in free agency will probably take less and stay there, because that you don't get that everywhere. You always have somebody that's selfish and wants, it all to be about them.
Yeah.
So it's nice that they have a roster like that. I mean, it's fun to play with a team where everybody is cheering for other people to do at their best. So, but it just doesn't always happen in team sports. So,
Yeah.
And then they're the favorites next year to win it again.
I'm not shocked.
No, I wouldn't be either.
So, so you want to get into the prospects since we're going to be having the draft next week?
Well, perfect. I think, I think you're probably on the same website. You just have the Ducks up, right?
Yep.
Elite prospects. Let's just start with one and go all the way down. How many do you have? Do you know?
Prospects?
Yeah.
On a team that's been rebuilding for the last 8 years?
You got a lot?
Duh.
Okay, we probably both do. So we'll talk really quick about each one. Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You just want to do like top 10 for time?
Okay.
So, and like I said, all this is just according to Elite Prospects and everything. Yeah, you want to start?
Okay. I'm going to go in reverse order if we're just going to do the top 10.
Okay, I'm good with that.
So the number 10 prospect for the Kings is Francisco Pinelli. He played with the Ontario Reign last year. He had played 70 games, had 15 goals, 14 assists for 29 points, which averaged out to 0.41 points per game, 46 penalty minutes, and he was a -8. This next year, Francisco needs to take another big step up. And if he doesn't, we'll see what happens. So, number 10 prospect for the Kings, Francisco Pinelli.
Yep. And number 10 for the Anaheim Ducks is Sam Colangelo. Yeah, I know he played quite a bit with the Anaheim Ducks this year, but he was the all-star for the San Diego Gulls this year. So I guess he's still considered a prospect, I guess, according to Elite Prospects. So
we'll both have some of those in the top 10. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, so this last year with the Gulls, he had 40 games played, 22 goals, 18 assists for 40 points. Pretty much it was exactly a point a game player. Let's see, does it say anything about what he did with the Ducks? He with the Ducks, he had in 32 games, he had 10 goals, 2 assists for 12 points, and then 2 penalty minutes, and was a -4. So, but Sam Colangelo is someone that I was very impressed with. When he was with the Ducks. I mean, he had the 4 games in a row where he scored a goal. He was one of the first players this year to really start going towards the net and actually deflecting goals in, which is what the Ducks needed, which is why I think Chris Kreider will be a great fit here because that's what he does. But yeah, I'm excited for Sam Colangelo. I think he's going to be a great Duck for a while. So then you can move on to your number 9.
Well, number 9 was an acquisition the Kings did. They signed him as a free agent to help the Ontario Reign, a little bit more of a veteran presence. He was a defenseman, Riley Walsh. He played in 70 games. He had 6 goals, 26 assists for 32 points. That was 0.46 points per game. He had 39 penalty minutes and was a -11. Um, he would be a if somebody gets hurt on the defensive core, a possible move up to help the Kings. But he's the only defenseman in the top 10. And I have a few the top 10 I have are the forwards and defensemen. I still want to talk about goalies at the end.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep. And then next up for the Anaheim Ducks, we got Jan Mishak. I believe we that was the one that we. Yeah. Okay. So this is the one that we traded for. He was drafted in the second round in 2020, 48th overall by the Montreal Canadiens. Last year or the season before, he had played 14 games and had 1 goal for 1 point. But this year he played 68 games, 18 goals, 24 assists for 42 points, and was a -5. So he is, I believe, a center, left wing, shoots left, and he is from Czechia. So that is our number 9 prospect.
So the number 8 prospect for the Los Angeles Kings is he was a 6th round pick in 2023. He's Ryan Conmey. He's presently played last season for the University of New Hampshire. Played in 34 games, had 15 goals and 18 assists for 33 points. So he was 1 point shy of a point a game. He had 6 penalty minutes and was a -1 for New Hampshire. He's a possible. He's still a little ways away for the Kings. So that's our number 8 prospect.
Yep. And then next up for the Anaheim Ducks in the number 8 spot, according to Elite Prospects, is defenseman Tristan Luneau. I probably would have had him higher, in my honest opinion. He is a Canadian, 21 years old, drafted 2nd round by the Anaheim Ducks in 2022, 53rd overall, right shot defenseman, which is what the Ducks have needed. He played 7 games in the 2023-2024 season, with 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points, and then played 6 games with the goals with 2 assists for 2 points. And then that's when he had his injury. Then he didn't play at all really the next year. And then he started 6 games for the Anaheim Ducks this year, recording 0 goals and 0 points. And then moved down to the goals and played 59 games there. He had 9 goals and 43 points for 52 points. 21 penalty minutes and a -4 overall. Tristan Luneau is someone who I expect to be with the Ducks next year. So everyone look out for that name in preseason a lot and for the future for the Ducks.
Okay, so we're going to go to our number 7, who is Martin Chromiak, who was the 128th pick which was in the 5th round of the 2020 draft. He played for Ontario Reign last year in the AHL. He played 69 games. He had 18 goals, 21 assists for 39 points for 0.57 points per game, 8 penalty minutes, and was a -6. And he's another one this next season is hopefully a big one for him, because they do think he has the ability to play in the NHL, but he's taken time. And I think next year is going to be the make or break season for Martin Chromiak. And that's our number 7 prospect.
All right. Number 7 for the Anaheim Ducks is Canadian right winger Maxim Massey. He was in the 2024 draft, the 3rd round pick, 66th overall. This last year, he played for the Chicoutimi Saguenay's A team in the QMJHL. In 47 games, he had 33 goals, 26 assists for 59 points. He had 24 penalty minutes and it was a plus 26. I've heard good things about Maxim Massey since being drafted, so I'm really looking forward to him this in the future for the Ducks. So that was it for number 7 for the Ducks.
So number 6 for the Kings was also a free agent pickup last year. And that would be center Jack Stunica, who played for Ontario Reign. He was another veteran, AHL player that they brought in because they lost a lot of people to free agency also. I mean, TJ Tynan, who was basically the captain for the last 3 or 4 years, moved on back to the Colorado AHL team. Jack Stunica played in 72 games. He had 16 goals and 29 assists for 45 points. So, 0.63 points per game, 64 penalty minutes. So played a little bit of a tough game, and he was a +4. So I'm not sure if they're going to re-sign him. I think I'm not sure how long they signed him for. So he might be someone that's a free agent, and we might be seeing the team change a little bit in the AHL again. So,
who was it again?
Jack Stunica.
Jack Stunica.
He's played some NHL games for other teams.
Stunica. I don't see him on your.
He's number 6.
Right, no, I know. I'm looking at Puckpedia.
I can get you more information if you like.
Oh, I was just seeing what his thing was, but
he was drafted in 2000.
He's an RFA right now.
Yeah, 2017 in the second round, number 53 overall by the Boston Bruins.
Yeah,
he's 26, so he's an older player. Like I said, a veteran presence to help the team. Help some of these younger forwards move themselves up. I mean, Malott was the same kind of pickup, which you'll be hearing his name in a couple more turns here.
Yeah,
because honestly, these are forwards and defensemen, and to me, the top 2 of the top prospects are goalies.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So next up for the Anaheim Ducks, it was at number 6, right?
Yes.
Someone we've talked about a few times on the podcast is Russian prospect Artem Galimov that plays with AK Bars Kazan. He was the 5th round pick in 2020, 129th overall. He is a center and a right winger. He shoots left. He's 25 years old. This last year for AK Bars, he in 68 games had 35 goals, 24 assists for 59 points, 24 penalty minutes, and 31 was a +31 overall. So, but remember, he did sign a 1-year extension with his team in the KHL, but I guess he does have a clause in his contract where he can leave for the NHL at any time. So, could we see him in a Ducks uniform in the future? Maybe, maybe not. So we'll look, but he would be someone I would look forward to seeing in a Ducks uniform for sure, though.
So number 5 is Samuel Fagimo. He was a 2nd round pick in 2019, number 50 overall, and he almost scored a goal a game last season in the AHL once he got reacquired by the Kings from the Nashville Predators because they picked him up on waivers. So last year in Ontario, he played 67 games. He had 29 goals, 17 assists for 46 points. So 0.69 points a game. He had 32 penalty minutes, was a -13. He is another one that's got to take the next step soon. I mean, they could always keep him as a veteran presence because the Kings have they picked up 3 uh, veteran center forwards to help this team be stabilized last year as free agents, and maybe Fagimo could be um, one of those guys next year, unless he takes that big step up because he has a shot. He is a goal scorer, but he needs to take another step up in his game, and he's number 5 for the LA Kings prospect pool, forwards and defensemen.
Yep. Oh, where did it? Sorry, my thing took me somewhere completely different. All right. Oh, and this is. Did my thing just stop working? Hold on. Sorry.
That's okay.
My browser decided to. Okay, maybe I got to pull up a whole another one. All right, and go to Teams. I'm so sorry about this, everyone.
You should
NHL. I said everyone. That does include you. Anaheim Ducks in the system. All right, next up we have in the 5th spot, according to Elite Prospects, defenseman Taryn Smith. He is a left shot, age 19. In the 2024 draft, he was third in the 3rd round, 79th overall. This last year, stupid ad. He played for the Everett Silvertips A team. In 65 games, he had 16 goals and 44 assists for 60 points, 50 penalty minutes, and was a plus 35. He is, I want to say, a big boy. I want to say, 6'2", big boy for his age. Offensive defenseman and power play specialist. So someone to also look out for, especially maybe for the goals this next year, is Taryn Smith. I believe he sign his ELC. I can't remember if he did or not. Oh no, he is unsigned. That's what it says right here. So, but I would look for him to be in a goals uniform within the next year or two.
We have. No, are you done?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't want to step over you there. Number 4 for the Kings in the forward and defenseman is Jeff Malott. And we saw a lot of him with the Kings because of the injury to Tanner Jeannot. And I thought he held his own. Poor guy, every time he scored a goal, they took it away. But I'm going to give you his stats more for the Ontario Reign. He played in 61 games. He had 23 goals, 28 assists for 51 points for 0.84 points per game. He had 80 penalty minutes, and he was a plus 17. And he was also one of those pickups that gave the Ontario Reign a little bit of a veteran presence to help the younger players play. So some of these guys, they're basically going to be AHL players their career, and part of their job is to help groom the younger players who are coming up in the system. And that was TJ Tynan was excellent at doing that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys have people like that over in the goals, Cody, but the Kings feel very strong about that. So
I'm not too familiar with the goals. You know, there's a lot of been changes, especially when you're a rebuilding team like this. So you have a lot of players moving back and forth. So,
yeah.
But next up is someone that really shocked everyone this last year in the goal system, or duck system, I should say, who started in the ECHL, and he was third round pick, 66 overall in 2021. Sasha Pashchov, 21 years old, left shot, right wing, left wing. Like I said, he started with Tulsa Oilers for 12 games, 9 goals, 7 assists for 16 points. And then he went to the goals. And in 43 games, he had 17 goals, 28 assists for 45 points. So he was over a point a game player. 12 penalty minutes, but was a -4. But someone that really improved with the goals this last year. So someone that we could hopefully maybe see soon, maybe with the Ducks. I would say. I don't think he'll be a bottom 6 guy mostly. So, but someone to look out for. So that'll be it for Pastajov.
Okay, so we're going to be going to number 3, and he was another veteran pickup. It's a free agent last season, Glenn Godden. He was a center.
Prospect?
What?
He's a prospect?
These are the top 10 skaters. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I'm going to bring all the other names up that are farther down the list because they're younger.
Yeah.
So I'll go through that after. I'll do that after the top forward prospect. Then I'll go down to the goalies. But I'll just mention their names. And those guys, a lot of these guys are names we have talked about on the podcast before. But Godden, did I give all the Godden's stats? I don't remember. I played in 72 games, 26 goals, 36 assists for 62 points, 0.86 points per game, 57 penalty minutes, and was a +23. So, I mean, but Godden and Malott could come up and play for the Kings, and even maybe Studnicka, maybe Chromiak. The rest of most of the rest of those guys that we've talked about so far are probably going to be in the AHL again this season. And the guys I'm going to talk about after the forwards, and then I'll go to the goalies. I'll bring up guys you guys know that were more recent picks, and they're younger. They're just not rated as high because they're not mature enough yet. So, but number 3, Glenn Godden. On to your number 3, Cody.
All right, number 3 for the Anaheim Ducks is Canadian prospect Nathan Precision. He was in the 2024 pick, 3rd round, 68th overall. He is unsigned. He is a center right shot. This last year, he played for the North Bay Battalion in the OHL. In 68 games, he had 34 goals, 30 assists for 64 points, 74 penalty minutes, and a -21. So, wow, that is not very good if you're a -21 like that. But I know it's juniors, so anything can kind of happen there. But I've heard good things about him. I would say he's a big hitter. I want to say he's more of a not really like an offensive person. I want to say he's more like an enforcer type in a way. So someone to also look out for, because if the Ducks are making some playoff pushes and everything, that's someone who you kind of want on your team. Like a Sam Bennett and what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name at the top of my head, but someone that's gonna, put a hurting on people that, to make them scared of, like, oh, okay, I don't want to be near this guy anymore. So, but that is it for our number 3.
So our number 2 is a younger prospect, and his name is Cohen Seamer. Let me get his draft information. He number 2 prospect of the forwards. He was a 3rd round pick in 2023, 78th overall by the Kings. He's gonna be 21 in December. And he's let me just get real back. And he played for the Prince George Cougars this last season. Did play 3 games for the Ontario Reign. Really, he was only a -1 with no points. But in 61 games for the Prince George Cougars, he had 37 goals, 34 assists for 71 points, 1.16 points per game, had 44 penalty minutes, and was a +11. So he's the number 2 prospect for the Kings.
And number 2 for The Anaheim Ducks, according to Elite Prospects, is someone that I've already talked about, is Alexander Blaze, who's now going to the University of Kentucky for the upcoming season. Last year, he was with the Rimouski Oceanic. In 60 games, he had 20 goals, 53 assists, 73 total points, 18 penalty minutes, and was a plus 31. He did have a good playoffs. In 23 games, he had 20 points. He was a 2024 fourth-round pick, 100th overall by the Anaheim Ducks. He is a left shot, left winger / center, and he is 19 years old. So obviously he's going to be in the NCAA this year. So hopefully some good he'll get polished up there and get more, probably get bigger too while he's up there. So good for him. I'm excited about this prospect right here, though, for sure.
Okay, so going to go to our number one forward defensive prospect, and that's Liam Greentree, OHL first team All-Star. He was the 26th pick in the 2024 draft, and the Kings actually traded down, and that's how they ended up getting Carter George in the second round. So they traded down to get Liam Greentree, and this is his stats: 64 games, 49 goals, 70 assists for 119 points. That's 1.86 points per game, 59 penalty minutes, and he was a plus 55. And I would not be shocked if he played anywhere between 0 and 9 games for the Kings next season, because I don't think he's old enough to play. And they either have to take him up to the big club or send him back to juniors.
Yeah.
He can't go to the AHL. I think it's a terrible rule because you're hurting the prospects. But I understand that there's all these contracts between these different leagues because they don't want to lose all their elite players in the juniors because it's a money maker even there. So, but they don't want to give these guys up. And so they have this age limit on that. But Liam Greentree, we got to be excited. A 26th pick in the draft, and he's dominating the OHL. So he's the number one. Now to your number one, Cody.
And I would say this is easily a number one for the Anaheim Ducks, who was our third overall pick in last year's draft in the first round. Right shot, right winger, 19 years old. The man that said, "What the?" on live TV, Beckett Seneca. Or I should say mouthed it on live TV.
But yeah, he didn't actually say it.
Yeah, well, he said it. We just didn't hear it. But he great player. He plays for the Oshawa Generals. He had another fantastic year, even better than last year. Last year in 63 games, he had 27 goals, 41 points for 68 points. In the playoffs, 41 assists and 68 points. Sorry.
There you go.
And in the playoffs last year, he had 16 games, 10 goals, 12 assists for 22 points. This year, in 56 games, so in less games, he had 36 goals, 50 assists, and 86 points. And then penalty minutes, he had 66 and 20. It was a plus 24 in the playoffs this year. 18 games, 14 goals, 18 assists for 32 points. So he played 2 more games in the playoffs and had 10 more points. And then this last year, he played 7 less games, but had 18 more points. That is crazy. Yeah. That's a great jump. Something that you want to see from your top prospect, something like that. So what?
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. But someone that I expect to see, like what you were saying with Liam Greentree, someone that you're going to see play 0 to 9 game or 1 to 9 games, probably with the LA Kings to start the season. I expect Beckett to either be a 9-game player or a 82-game player.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, you never know. I mean, could Greentree? I mean, you know, Beckett had a great season,
Yeah.
but Greentree had a better season than Beckett did, as far as what he did in the OHL. But the Kings are a little tougher up in the forward market than. I mean, we got a lot of veteran presence there, so I don't know if he's going to make it. Beckett, I think, possibly could with the Ducks, but what we don't know is what they're doing this summer, because sometimes that summer they're getting bigger, they're getting stronger, they're getting faster. We'll see what happens with. They're both very exciting players. Now, some of you are going, Gary, you forgot some prospects. Well, I'm going to just name some names. Jacob Moverari, according to Elite Prospects, was the number 33, and he played a lot of games for the Kings. Another Samuel Hellenius. Well, he's going to be at best probably a fourth line center. He was 29th. Atu Jamison, right wing, left wing. He did play 36 games, had 11 points, 7 goals, 4 assists. Angus Booth, a defenseman, they're high on him. He was number 25. He had 13 points. He was a +6. And the guy they just signed, Kirill Kirsanov, he played over in, I think he played in the KHL. It was 7 points in 34 games. Jared Wright's in there. He played for the University of Denver. Gary didn't mention Andre Lee. Andre Lee played some games with the Kings too. Why didn't you mention him? Well, he's number 21. Caleb Lawrence, another pick. He played in the ECHL. He had 16 points in 27 games. Taylor Ward, I think he played one game with the Kings. I think he scored. He had 27 points with the Reign, 61 penalty minutes, was a +6. Jared Woolley, who won the Memorial Cup with the London Knights, 9 goals, 19 assists, 28 points in 68 games, 75 penalty minutes, and he was a +49. Otto Celine, another defenseman, played in the League, had 28 points in 56 games. Kenny Connors played for UMass, 29 points in 40 games. And those are the prospects that you may have heard of, maybe on a broadcast or in the news a little bit. Those are the other prospects that weren't in the top 10 according to Elite Prospects. I just wanted to mention their names. Do you have a list, Cody, you want to go over?
Of course. So for the Ducks, we had the newcomer Tim Washy from Western Michigan. He was the captain there. He did play 2 games with the Anaheim Ducks. He's a great center. I believe he was the top face-off winner in the NCAA last year, so something that Ducks desperately need. Igor Sidorov, he also played with the San Diego Gulls, someone else I can mention. Also I talked about Nikita Nestorenko, who just re-signed. Lucas Pettersson, who just signed his ELC. That's someone else to look out for as well. Miko Majadovic, another player to look out for. He just played his first, I believe this was his first season with the AHL this year. And then someone else I'm really excited for, who did play 2 or 3 games with Anaheim, right-hand shot defenseman Ian Moore from Harvard. He looked good. I would say when the 2 or 3 games he was with the Ducks, he didn't stand out like in a bad way. He was making plays, so that's someone to look for. And then the Norwegian Nightmare. I don't know how he's this low. The Norwegian Nightmare himself, Stan Solberg. He's going to be with the Gulls. He did play 10 games with them, so he had 5 points in those 10 games as a defenseman. And then the last person I would talk about. Did you ever go over goalies too, or no?
Goalies are next.
Okay, goalies are next. All right,
Yeah.
and then I would say the last person who could have a bounce back year is Noah Warren, another right hand shot defenseman. I believe he's a right hand shot defenseman. I'll double check on that. But I know he struggled with the goals, but I feel like he was also developing, and I feel like he's going to be good. And we do have a couple YouTube comments from the Pitch Grid Pod. Please go check him out on YouTube. Go subscribe, listen. He does football and the European football, so go check that out. And he did love the nickname, the Norwegian Nightmare.
That is a great nickname. I love it too.
I still don't know if I came up with it or not. That's the thing. I don't remember.
It's okay. We'll give you. We'll just say it was you, Cody, because we really don't know.
It was me. I claim it now.
Yeah,
I claim it.
I've had nightmares about you, so
join the club, Dad.
Thanks, son.
All right,
let's on to goalies.
Yep.
Okay, so according to Elite Prospects, the number 4 goalie prospect for the King, Eric Portillo, played for the Ontario Reign last year. He did get hurt. Played in 24 games. His goals against average was 2.82. His save percentage is down from the season before, 0.889. It might be because of the injury, but his record was 15 wins, 5 losses, 4 losses in overtime. He might be the backup goalie next year if the Kings don't pick somebody, a veteran presence up. He's one option. The number 3 prospect, who really actually saved the Kings that one year and had one of the greatest seasons record-wise for a King goalie, is Phoenix Copley. He played in 42 games for the Reign, 2.49 goals against, a 904 save percentage, and his record was 24-17-1. He did have 2 shutouts. Now let's go to the most, I think, other than Liam Greentree, the 2 most exciting prospects. And I'm going in the order that Elite Prospects ranked them. Number 2 on the Kings prospects for goalies is Carter George. Carter George for the Owen Sound Attack, which they were terrible, but he still made second team all-star goalie on a terrible team. He played in 47 games for him. His goals against average were 3.35, a 909 save percentage. His record was 17-22-6. Okay, but let's talk about it. He went up after the OHL season and played 2 games for the Ontario Reign. This is the exciting part, people. 2 games, goals against average 0.50, save percentage 9.84 with a shutout, and he went 2-0. But he's right now, according to Elite Prospects, the number 2 goalie prospect. Let's go to number 1, because I don't know. To me, these guys, I love them both. Hampton Slukinski, Western Michigan University, freshman, played in 25 games, goals against average 1.90, save percentage 9.22, 1 shutout, 19 wins, 5 losses, 1 overtime loss, and won the Frozen Four as a freshman. Western Michigan, for the first time, won college hockey's greatest honor, is to be the champion of the NCAA. So can you imagine 1A, 1B in the future with these two guys. They're incredibly great goalies. I mean, we should be excited for the future for these guys. I mean, along with Liam Greentree, those three, they're the top three prospects that the Kings have.
Yeah.
And Cody, you want to go over your goalies?
So I'm gonna just go over the younger ones. Like I don't need to go over Ville Husso or Oscar Dansk. But Thomas Sukanik is someone to look out for. He did not play this last year because of an injury, but he was one of the main reasons why the goals were even good the year, or at least somewhat decent the year before that. I thought he would have been the top. I think he was the number one before he got hurt last year. So someone to look out for him. I know he had a whole year off because of the injury, but I hope he's back and he's back to what he was before. And then Damian Clara, who was on the Italy team for the Olympic roster, one of the 6 players named. Someone else to look out for is for him. He did play 2 games with the San Diego Gulls. Did not have a very good game. Had a 3.1 goals against average and an 898 save percentage. So in one recorded loss. So, but like I said, he's still young. He still needs to learn. Like goalies take a little bit longer to develop also. So I believe he was only drafted either 2020, I want to say 2023. I want to say he was drafted. So he still has some time. Callie Klang, another goalie to look out for. He was the one that we got in the Ricard Raquel trade. In 31 games this year, he had a 3.17 goals against average and an 895 save percentage. He was 11, 13, and 4. He did end the year a little earlier than normal just because he got injured, and then that's why we got Ville Husso on the team. And then also another goal to look out for is I'm trying to remember how to say his name. Vyacheslav Batayev, I believe is how you say his name.
Wow.
He spent, yeah. In the ECHL, he had 36 games, had a 2.82 save goals against average, and 905 save percentage, 4 shutouts, and was 19, 13, and 3. In the AHL with the goals, he had 2 games, a 5.56 goals against average, and then an 800 save percentage. And that is not good at all.
Yeah, but that's a really not a.
Yeah,
he needs more games to judge that.
Yeah, like I said, he's also coming from Russia. The ice is different out there. They have a bigger. It's a bigger rink, right?
Yeah, if it's a bigger rink.
Okay.
Europe has a bigger rinks.
So those are the goalies I wanted to talk about the most. Like I said, Ville Husso, we don't even know if he's going to be back with the Ducks next year. Same with Oscar Dansk. I don't know what his contract is. But prospect wise, it would be Batayev, Kling, Clara, and Sukanik. Those are the players to look out for the goalies. And all of them had somewhat high expectations. I know but like I said, they're all young. So we just, be patient with the goalies. So, but yeah, that's,
yes. Well, you guys,
Adams in the chat. He says Europe usually uses an Olympic size rink.
Yeah, it's a bigger rink. Thanks, Adam.
That's what I figured.
Really,
so sometimes it's different because I can tell you when I went from playing regular soccer as a goalkeeper to indoor, it is weird to go from a big field to a small. I mean, I know it's a bigger difference between indoor and outdoor soccer than North American ice and European ice, but still, it is different.
True.
So
very true.
More fast pace and
absolutely. And so, well, next week, Friday and Saturday is the draft, right?
It's the draft.
So
I may or may not do a live stream for the draft on Friday. Just see if people hop on and want to talk.
Yeah,
I am a maybe on it. If people message us and tell me do it, then yes, I'll do it for the channel.
well, if not, Saturday we'll at least go over what it's the first round.
Yeah, we'll go over the first round.
It's a first round on Friday, and then the rest of the draft is Saturday, right?
Yeah,
starting early. And we may have some information before coming on at 10 o'clock next week for you guys on that. But this is going to be the real exciting part is not just the draft. There will be trades during the draft. What are you laughing at? Don't do it. Is he talking to you?
Yes. Because I was like, if people want me to do it, I'll do it. Then Adam just said, don't do it.
Okay.
All right. If you guys didn't know, Adam is the president of our channel now, apparently. If I give him that power, he will take full advantage of it too.
Yeah, you give him an inch, he takes a mile. Anyways, we could have exciting news with trades during the draft. And then shortly thereafter on July 1st, free agency starts. So it's going to be an exciting summer.
Yep.
And, we'll probably have some fun with some of our podcasts. I know we're going to have some guests again.
Yep.
I don't know. We might invite Adam if he's a good boy.
Well, we got a battle in the comments now. He says, I'm an agent of chaos. And then Mom says, wait, taking my job?
Oh, Adam, you don't want to piss her off.
No, he just wants to cause chaos, which that's what he's
that's okay. Adam always causes chaos.
Yeah.
Kind of used to it, Adam. But we might have some fun things to do the rest of this summer. But really, we're going to go right into, after the Stanley Cup, into the draft, into free agency. There'll be trades throughout the summer that we'll be reporting on Saturdays for you guys. And then we'll have some fun ones too.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Cody's finally going to decide to have the hockey name thing with me and a few guests that can't say hockey names. And if you want a good laugh, you can have one at my expense. Yeah. I mean, I'm having a blast doing this. It couldn't be better to be able to do it with my son. You guys have no idea how much fun I have every Saturday and how much I look forward to this. And I hope it comes across to you guys and you guys enjoy it. So anything else you wanted to say, Cody?
I do have a horrible hockey joke if you want to hear one.
Why not? Let's get a laugh before we get off.
Okay. All right. Let me find it. It is, where is it? Why does a hockey rink have rounded corners? You don't know?
No.
Because if the corners were 90 degrees, it would melt the ice. I said it was a bad hockey joke.
So your comedy career has just ended, and we'll be going back to just talking about real hockey.
I had a comedy career. Didn't last very long.
That was it.
Yay. But everyone, be safe out there, have fun, drink a lot of water, especially during this time of year. And actually, I just saw this on Twitter. Congratulations to the late arrivals on their 3-year anniversary since starting their podcast.
Hey guys, we always appreciate your support. Congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations to the late arrivals. Like I said, they've been great to us and everything. Go check them out. They're hilarious to listen to. I can tell you that. So I listen to them every week. So on that, you have anything else?
No, I'm done. I think I'm done. Other than our usual, go Kings go.
Well, before we get out of that, if you guys want to watch more, just remember to go catch all our content on YouTube and Twitch where we break down all our Ducks and Kings hockey news. Follow us on all our social media for updates and behind the scenes stuff, like our clips and stuff like that. Just search for Royally Quacked everywhere on social media. And don't forget to join our Discord, and where I'll post the episodes, and hopefully we get more people on there so we can talk Ducks and Kings hockey, or just hockey in general. Don't forget to subscribe and download it and rate the podcast on Apple and Spotify. We would really appreciate that. Give us a follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube.
I do have a challenge for everybody. A couple things. The challenge is tell a friend about the podcast, especially if they're new to hockey. We actually do have episodes on how to learn a little bit more about hockey. Hockey 101.
Yep.
So they're in our all the different formats. All those episodes are still there. So if you're new to hockey, please go see those. Tell us what you think. But do subscribe and like on every podcast platform, and we really do appreciate you all.
Yeah. And check out Elite Sports and Entertainment Network for everything sports. Like I said, they have the daily afternoon show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. They got wrestling, they got baseball, they got everything. Go check out the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. And I forgot to say this last week, but I did send a post out there, but we did not hit our 50 subscriber by the end of the Stanley Cup final, so I'm going to make a new one. We got 45 subscribers right now. Let's help us get to 55 before July 1st. That's only 10 people.
Big challenge there. That's okay. I like that.
Yeah. Give people a week and a half. We can get 10 people, 10 subscribers.
And don't forget, if you are a Yankee fan, look up Frankie on the Elite,
Yankee.
Yep, on the Elite Sports Network. So,
yep. But we'll
Entertainment Network.
Yep, but we'll see you guys next week, and we'll have the first round recap. So,
go Kings, go!
All right, let's go Ducks. See you next week.
Go Kings!